Hello everyone, with Alien Covenant releasing right around the corner, I want to give you guys my unprofessional opinion on its precursor, Prometheus. Prometheus stars Noomi Rapace, Michael Fassbender, Charlize Theron, and Idris Elba, with Ridley Scott returning to the franchise he created. This was a very divisive film when it was first released back in 2012. Most audiences felt as if the film asked more questions than it could possibly answer, while also not feeling like an alien movie. While I agree with some of this to an extent, I will say that this is an incredibly underrated film. Now, I will be giving some spoilers in this review considering this film was released 5 years ago. Long story short, I really enjoyed this movie and I recommend it to anybody who is a fan of the franchise or really anyone who just likes a good sci-fi movie. That being said, let's get into some spoilers. The Prometheus consists of a crew of scientists and explorers on the mission to discover the true origins of the human race. The film throughout explores this mystery with terrible things happening around our crew. What I love about this movie is the mystery of who our creators are and the question of what it would be like to meet our creators. Michael Fassbender plays an android named David. In a scene with Noomi Rapace's counterpart, just before David infects him with the alien pathogen, he asks him why humans created androids. His answer was just because we could. How disappointed would you be to find out the same reasoning behind our creation? I find this entire concept in the movie incredibly fascinating. When we finally meet what the scientists call the engineers, the creators of humanity, I love how this concept comes into play. The engineers had the intention to wipe our species out of existence. Some people had issues with the fact that we never really learned why they created us or why they wanted to destroy us in the end. Were humans a failed experiment, or were we created on accident? Did they create us simply because they could create us? Personally, I like the fact that this is left open to interpretation. When you get the opportunity to meet your creator, you create this fantasy of what they would be like. We create such high expectations that makes it just that much easier to become disappointed. Most of the performances in the film are fantastic. Noomi Rapace in this film is absolutely incredible. The scene where she gives herself an emergency C-section was fantastic. That scene is one of the most memorable moments in any alien movie in my opinion. Fassbender is of course fantastic as the android David. He is definitely one of the more intriguing characters in the entire movie. Charlize Theron and Idris Elba are also fantastic. What else do we expect from these actors but greatness? All the visuals and special effects in this film are pretty much perfect. Ridley Scott directed the crap out of this movie. Every single shot in this movie is absolutely beautiful. This film, however, is not perfect. There are so many decisions characters make in this movie that is just absolutely ridiculous. In particular, the two dimwits who get left behind in the alien ship are just completely dumb, and I absolutely hated their characters. They purposely poke an unknown alien species that ends up killing them in the end. I'm also not the biggest fan of the zombie mutated humans. I didn't really care so much about the characters that ended up turning into them, and they weren't really scary or terrifying in any way. I feel like the only reason why these were in the movie was to add some scares and action into the movie, and it really ended up being not effective. As for the fact that it's an alien prequel, it really feels detached from the rest of the alien universe. I see this movie as a really good original sci-fi movie and less of a prequel to Alien. However, the addition of the whole creation of the first xenomorph from being born from the first facehugger attaching itself to the engineer was a really cool touch. I absolutely loved the final shot of this movie. Although the film was ridiculous at times, I still really enjoyed this movie from start to finish. I gave Prometheus 8 severed David heads out of 10. I cannot wait for Alien Covenant, so I'll see you guys in my review of that movie next week.